Hey friends! Okay, here are my tips for you before we get started with our banana bread. Is that you're gonna need 3 to 4 bananas, and you want them to be ripe. You want them to be brown, almost looking spoiled. Those are the ones that we want. The delicious marbling that you get inside a banana bread, it's because you use these. I'm not saying you can't make it with a regular perfect banana, but it's gonna taste better if you wait until they look like this. There's a few things I've seen online where you can speed up the process. I think there was one in the oven, microwave. It's gonna be your choice on what you wanna use. You want them to be medium-sized bananas. This one's a little bit smaller, so I might end up using 3.5. What I'm trying to come up with is 1.5 cups of mashed bananas. I know I was that kid that if it had one brown spot, there's no way that I was gonna eat the banana. And now, look at this. What do they say? Your taste buds change every 7 years? So if we get about 1.5 cups here, we're not gonna need any more. Like baby food, huh? Okay. We're gonna need about 3 or 4 ripe bananas, or 1 to 1.5 cups of bananas. 1 stick of butter. You can use unsalted or salted. For some reason, I like the salt content, and I always end up using salted butter. So you'll need 1 stick of butter or 1/2 cup. You need a little bit of extra butter so that you can coat your baking pan. Brown sugar, and you can use 3/4 cup. If you're running low on your sugar, you should be okay to use 3/4 cup. I like it sweet and salty, so I'm going for 1 cup of brown sugar. 2 room temperature eggs, preferably a medium size. I ended up buying large. Those are the ones that I have at the moment. But if you get to choose at home, use medium-sized eggs. 2 tablespoons of vanilla. I'm using the Mexican vanilla blend, the one that I show you guys in my videos. I'm a fan of that one. The smell, the taste, it's perfect. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. If you're a cinnamon lover, go for that full teaspoon. For this one, I really want the bananas to come through, so I'm only going to be using 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I know these little containers make it seem like it's a lot. It's 1 teaspoon, guys. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of salt. I like salty and sweet. 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm still riding with that gold medal flour right now. It's perfect for all types of baking. Walnuts. I really like walnuts. You can use anywhere from 1/2 cup to 1 cup. I have 1 cup here, and I'm gonna mash it up. Brace yourselves. You don't have one of these, you can mash it with a cup, a rolling pin. I'm curious to see what you guys are gonna mash your walnuts with. So leave it in my comments below. Okay friends, the ingredients that are gonna go first in our mixing bowl are gonna be our butter, our brown sugar, our vanilla, cinnamon, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. You know what I say, it tastes better with butter. I love the way that looks. Every time I bake, I like to mash down my butter, because you guys saw what happened to me last time when I made that pound cake. It was way too cold. I'm just making sure that I'll be able to blend this well. Looks good to me. You can bring your own whisk or one of these little machines. Yeah, that's gonna blend. My butter's not that cold. So let's go ahead and add our vanilla. And we're gonna whip this up until it's smooth. Whip it good. Okay, for my newbies in baking, you wanna start, if you have one of these electric mixers, you wanna start it on low before you continue going really fast, or you're gonna end up with everything in your face. If you're doing this with the mixer, it shouldn't take you more than a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. If you're doing this by hand, you might end up taking about 3 to 4 minutes. After you've whipped all those ingredients, you want to go ahead and add your mashed bananas and give that a good mix. Correction, give that a good whip. You know, whip it good, because the more you whip this, the more whipped your family is going to be with you, okay? So come on. Come down and scrape your bowl. And if you're doing this by hand, bless your heart. Bless your heart. And if nobody tells you how great you're doing, I think you're doing a wonderful job. Next, we're gonna add our eggs. I want you to crack them. And then divide them in here, okay? And we're gonna add these eggs all at the same time. These are not something you have to do separate. Now let's give that a good mix, 20-30 seconds. Now that we have this nice runny mixture, we're gonna add our flour. The magic is about to happen. That means we're one step closer to some delicious banana bread. Oh yeah. So start sprinkling in a little bit at a time. Go ahead, when you see the flour gets on the side and it's not mixing, come and scrape your bowl so that we can give that a good blend. It's a lot of stop and go. You got this. You can see how thick it is, because when I started giving it this last mix, it's like I can barely move anywhere. So you want it to be a thick paste of a consistency. Because you have to remember, we put baking powder in here, it's gonna rise. It's just a more dense type of bread. When you're baking, you wanna make sure that certain things that are gonna get stuck with the batters that you're using, you rinse them off right when you're done. That way you're avoiding the cleanup stiffness that you can possibly get. If you like walnuts, go ahead and pour them in. I'm gonna pour about that much, and I'm keeping about 1/4 of a cup so that I can put it on the top. But if you don't prefer to have it as a decor on the top, it looks really pretty, and sometimes I just like picking it off. That's why I do it, but you can put it all in the batter and you should be fine. Okay, this is my bread pan. It's been through a lot, and it's been with me for a very long time. Rubber, you guys can choose. I like to keep all of you happy, so we'll do half with that and half with this. Now let's go ahead and pour our batter into our pan. I know you can put sour cream, you can put a bunch of different things in this bread, but I want to teach you how to make recipes the most easiest way, so that way you guys have to make it comfortable for your home. Get creative with it, all these fun ideas. The corners are sometimes difficult to get in, so press them down. That way there's nothing hollow there. I know I don't always have the proper verbiage to teach you guys on how to cook, but it's home cooking. I'm not a chef, guys. I'm not working at a restaurant. This is how we cook at home. We're gonna go ahead and pick this up and we're gonna drop it like it's hot. Ready? We're gonna leave this here to set for 10 minutes. While we're waiting, we wanna start our oven at 325 degrees. Okay, so what we wanna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and pour. You know what, I'll make this a lot better if I use my hands. One of the things that you'll find when you put your walnuts on the top of your breads or baked goods is that they'll tend to burn. So you wanna make sure you push these down so that way you don't turn out with burnt walnuts. That's not pleasant. You can kind of move them around like this. Okay, friends, we're gonna bake this at 325 degrees. It's gonna be 40 to 45 minutes depending on your oven. I know that my oven fluctuates between like 5 to 10 degrees depending on the day. And I would say come and check it at about 35 minutes. And if you see anything that's burning on the top, oop, we're almost ready there. If you see anything that's burning on the top and it's not fully cooked inside, what you wanna do is you wanna grab a foil and put it over this way, okay? I don't know if I'm gonna show you guys my oven. I'm due for a routine cleaning. So we'll see what it looks like in there. But it's hot enough for this bread. So let's go ahead and start baking. I didn't say bacon, I said baking. Quit playing. Okay, that took me an hour and 10 minutes to make. So 45 minutes baking regularly. After the 45 minutes, I put the foil over it, and this is what we have. And the second part, I kept it in for 25 minutes. So just come through to see if anything got stuck on the sides. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this sit here for about 15-20 minutes, because if you eat this right now, it's way too hot. You're gonna hurt your tummy. But if you can't resist, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna wait. And honestly, if I've been waiting this long to have the rest of my coffee, because I got the craving, I'm still waiting. I'm gonna warm my coffee and I'm gonna have it with my bread. And it's very late at night. So I'll see you guys in 15-20 minutes so that we can enjoy this bread and slice it up. And that's how you make banana bread. I hope you guys were able to get a good view, but let me bring it up. Let me bring it in for you guys. This one doesn't have that many nut pieces in there. Let's go for a better one. Oh yeah. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Click that bell for notifications to become one of my bells. If you guys make a views recipe, please make sure to send it to me on Instagram or on Twitter. It is Views on the Road on both and all my social media. Let's go ahead and give this a quick bite because my kids are ready for this. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Smells like banana bread. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, here's what happens. Your bread is never gonna come out the same because it's gonna depend on the bananas that you're using. If you're using those super ripe bananas, it's gonna come out bomb.com. If they're not super ripe, then you're not gonna get the best flavor. It's still gonna be good, but it's not gonna be the best. And honestly, I'd rather wait a few more days for them to ripe because bananas in my house ripe real quick. And I'm saving myself $5 from buying it where I usually buy it from. Oh yeah. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!